225 pounds of pink polka dots filled the doorway to the nursing clinic. Perched atop that mountain of spotted fabric sat the roundest head I had ever seen. Coal black skin, shiny with Vaseline, stretched taut across Hazel's beautiful black moon-like face. 78 years old and not one wrinkle below her tattered red head rag. "Auntie," I said, "you're right on time, 7:03. How did you sleep? Come in and have some cranberry juice with me." I stood next to the medication cart in my nursing scrubs. Hazel sauntered over. "Honey, the only thing you ever got in here is cranberry juice. Now, if you had some gin." Why she had attached herself to me was somewhat of a mystery. We hadn't known each other for years, nor had we spent many long hours sharing intimacies, joys, sorrows, fears. But we did spend mornings together, beginning precisely at 7:03 a.m. Like queens sitting behind the large plate glass window to the street, we held court. Our kingdom was the downtown ghetto, and we sat and watched over paper cups of cranberry juice. We also shared a passionate love of music, specifically the blues. That long, low, drown-out, break-your-heart sadness that wails and howls your deepest sorrows. Late afternoons would find us in the darkest corner of the dingy facility day room, slumped in rickety folding chairs. We must have looked like Laurel and Hardy, side by side, touching shoulders and hearts, in tune to Leadbelly, Babe Hines, and Robert Johnson. Auntie loved singing. "I'm gonna put my arms around you like a circle around the sun." She'd stand up and start jiggling all over the room, twisting polka dots everywhere. When she finished, she'd run back, throw her immense arms around me, and squeeze. And when you've been squeezed by Auntie, you know you've truly been squeezed. When we had melted ourselves into puddles of raw emotion, we eased ourselves up without a word, just a soft touch on the arm, a kiss on the cheek, a nod of understanding. I would watch Hazel shuffle across the room to the elevator and feel a sadness. She walked more slowly each day. I could not imagine my days here without her. Early in our friendship, Hazel had decided that I was to be her daughter. Her real daughter had deserted her years ago, ashamed of this massive woman who spoke only in loud and dressed like a circus. Hazel still held a shred of hope that just maybe her daughter would return to her someday. I hoped that for her too, so out of respect, I called her Auntie. But she loved to tell people that I was her true daughter. "She ain't your daughter," came the usual response. "She's white." But Hazel would have none of it. "Haven't you ever heard of a throwback? She's a throwback, and she's my true daughter," she said with pride. I beamed. My mom had passed, and I felt lucky to have a second chance at someone I truly loved. I was as proud of Hazel as she was of me. We were quite a pair, Hazel and I. One morning, 7:03 came around, and no Hazel. The news wasn't good. Hazel had a weak heart. Carrying over 200 pounds for so long had finally taken its toll. She'd been taken to the ER and then shortly transported to a skilled nursing facility. People like Auntie, poor, alone, on the strange side, didn't have many choices. In truth, she really had no choices. I parked my truck in front of the nursing home and sat with my head down. Certain nursing homes like this one are called train stations by both staff and patients. People come here to catch that last train, and that happened pretty quickly after arriving for most folks. Now here I was, sitting in front of one of those train stations, frozen with sorrow for what I knew I would find inside. I wanted to go home, to my safe, clean, cheery home. But I pictured Auntie's big moon face and recalled her smooth hand on my cheek. I slid out of my truck and headed for the front door. Down a long hallway lined with dozens of wheelchairs, frail, sickly arms like tentacles blossomed out toward me as I passed. A nurse sitting behind the desk asked me who I had come to see. My mother, Hazel. She stared hard at me. Your mother? She asked. I'm a throwback, I shouted over my shoulder as I hurried down the dim hallway. The dark, sad little room held a small bed in the corner. My massive auntie lay motionless under a dingy gray sheet. But I wasn't too late. I could see the shallow rise and fall of her breathing. I sat on a broken crate next to her bed and gazed at the face I had come to love. Cracked, peeling lips, small and delicate flutters of her eyelids, and still not one wrinkle below that red head rag, her crown of glory in her shambles of a world. I crawled into bed beside her. I didn't care what anybody thought about it, spooning myself up hard next to her back. I wrapped my arms around her and tried to squeeze whatever life I could into my beautiful friend. I matched the rhythm of her breathing, closed my eyes, and we breathed as one. I'm here, Auntie, I whispered into her ear. I'll stay with you. I'm not going anywhere else. Sing to me, a small, thready voice pleaded. Sing to me, honey, please. Sing me on home. It's time to catch my train. I could barely breathe through my grief. What could I offer her in way of comfort? Auntie, I said, don't go. I don't want you to go. And I can't sing, you know that. That don't make no never mind to me, came a stronger response. So please, daughter, please just lie here next to me and sing me on home. I was quiet for a long time, holding Auntie, listening to her breathing. I remembered my own mother holding me in the middle of the night, singing my nightmares away. And I started. I'm gonna put my arms around you like a circle around the sun. Let me love you, mama, like your easy rider done. Auntie drew my arms more tightly around her, squeezed my hand, and pressed my palm to her heart. And I kept singing, and I didn't stop until Auntie had made it all the way home.